everyone, and thank you for joining us. The system was built to protect the elderly when they've lost the ability to manage their lives and assets. But too often, that safety net becomes a trap. Tonight, the CBS 12 News I-Team takes a look at legal guardianship. Yeah, Liz, that system has the right to give a court-appointed individual control over every aspect of another person's life. I-Team investigator Danielle Wall has one family's shocking story and a warning for others.
First, it was Free Britney and the documentary about the pop star's controversial conservatorship.
Why is she still in this? Why is her dad making all of her decisions?
Then came the award-winning Netflix film, I Care a Lot.
The court has appointed me to be your legal guardian.
What?
Now there is a growing awareness about guardians, people who make a living managing the life and money of somebody the court deems to be unfit to manage their own affairs.
I'm here to help.
For many families in Florida, guardianships are not just a headline out of Hollywood. They are a dark reality.
They lived in a very nice home and they were happy. And then the authorities came and removed them from their home and the rest went downhill.
He was a World War II veteran. She was a mother of 7. Joan Stanton says her parents, Richard and Betty Weber, were ready to enjoy their golden years. Instead, they lost everything they'd worked for under the control of a court-appointed guardian. The trouble started with a rift among the siblings. Some weren't happy with Joan's management of their parents' affairs. So they went to court, and that's when a Palm Beach County judge appointed a professional guardian to step in.
Did you have any sense of what it meant?
No, I had no idea.
What it meant, she learned, was that a man named Linrod Douglas was given control of all of Richard and Betty's money. For the time he spent paying their bills, taking them to doctor's appointments, running errands, he could charge up to $95 an hour, draining their savings. The guardian controlled who could see the Webers and when, restricting Joan's access to her parents. He also had final say on where they lived. In this case, BP Assisted Living in West Palm Beach.
He begged me to get him out of there. Begged me, and I'm like, Dad, I'm doing everything I can.
Joan suspected abuse at the nursing home and mismanagement of the estate, but the court repeatedly denied her request to end the guardianship.
And there's nothing I could do about it. Nothing.
In 2018, BP Assisted Living was raided and shut down. Its administrators arrested for abusing and neglecting residents. Months later, investigators started to look into Linrod Douglas. Court records show he stole $10,000 from the Webers and hundreds of thousands more from 5 other wards. His arrest came too late to help the Weber family. Under his guardianship, their house was sold and most of their money spent. Richard and Betty died later that same year.
What's the hardest part for you today?
The anger I feel. I don't want to be this angry. You know, I just live a nice, quiet life. I'm an animal advocate. I volunteer a lot, and I'm always angry.
Angry at who?
At the system, at the people that did this to my mother and father. It didn't have to be this way.
Around 1.5 million Americans are under guardianship right now. In Palm Beach County, there are nearly 3,000 cases with guardians controlling an estimated $1 billion in assets. A new Inspector General's review found that last year, guardians in Florida racked up more than $1 million in unverifiable expenditures.
Everything about this guardianship stuff is just wrong.
Dr. Sam Sugar is the founder of the group Americans Against Abusive Probate Guardianships and has written a book about guardian and conservator fraud.
It may be legal because a judge puts a signature on it, but at every step of the process, there is conflict of interest, there is the opportunity for corruption, the presence of massive amounts of lies. And it's just something that rubs me and so many others the wrong way.
Problem number 1, he says, you don't need a special degree, certification, or even license to become a guardian in Florida. Just 1 week of training. Once in charge of a ward, guardians are required to submit an annual report to the court. But as Joan points out, that report typically includes just one bank statement. With greater oversight, she believes thieves like Lynrod Douglas would be caught sooner.
There are numerous protections.
Gina Rossi-Scheinman, executive director of the Florida State Guardianship Association, says fraud is rare, pointing out that the state revoked just 2 guardianship registrations last year due to alleged misconduct.
The clerks and the judges are vigilant. I know from being a guardian, vigilant in overseeing estates. It's not the outrageous racket that it appears to be in Hollywood.
But as the Webbers' real-life drama makes clear, it takes just one bad actor to do a great deal of damage.
What advice would you have for somebody so that they don't end up like your family did?
Oh, don't have any animosity in the family. Everybody make the agreements and get along, and do not, under any circumstances, get the courts involved.
The guardian in their case, Lynrod Douglas, appeared in court today, and he pleaded guilty to 15 counts, including money laundering, theft, and exploitation of the elderly. He could be sentenced anywhere from 25 to 220 years in prison. For the CBS 12 News I-Team, I'm Danielle Waugh.